Hello children. Today we will begin with Unit 1.4 Revathi's Musical Plants. So children, we all like to listen to music, right? We love different forms of music. Music has a great impact on our mind and body. It helps us to relax our mind and body. Similarly, it helps in the growth of plants. So children, in this lesson, there is a girl named Revathi who is the student of music. She used to play violin, but suddenly she noticed something strange. She saw something which she herself couldn't believe. So children, let's try and find out what unique thing happened with Revathi. So students, we will read this passage and then understand it. Let's read together. Revathi's musical plants. Revathi was a student of music. She was happy playing on her violin whenever she was free. There was a small open courtyard in front of her house with a small cement bench. She would sit on the bench and practice on her violin. There were a few potted plants in the courtyard. While playing on the violin, one day, she noted a pot of balsam plants near the wall. The plants were not looking normal. They had pale green leaves and their growth was stunted. She remembered she had learned in the lower classes that plants need light for normal growth. She shifted the pot to the center of the courtyard, where there was ample sunlight. The meanings are: courtyard means an unroofed area attached to the house. Balsam means a flowering plant. Pale means a dull color. Stunted means having been prevented from growing. So children, I'll begin with the explanation. So children, as I told you earlier, Revathi was a student of music and she happily played her violin whenever she was free. She would play the violin in the courtyard. So children, courtyard means an unroofed area attached to the house. You can call it as veranda or angan in Hindi. It has walls around and some plants. So there was a cement bench on which Revathi used to sit and play her violin. One day, while playing her violin, she saw some balsam plants near the wall. Balsam plants are flowering plants. So these plants were looking dull and their growth had slowed down. So she had learnt in her earlier standard that plants can grow properly under sunlight. So she placed them at the other side of the courtyard where there was a lot of sunlight so that the plants can grow properly. Children, now let's read the next passage. While shifting the pot, an idea struck Revathi. Why not participate in the best plant contest, which was to be held in her colony a few weeks later? Then and there, she decided to participate. Thus, making up her mind, she watered the plants and sat down on the bench and started playing her violin. She was very fond of the rag Mohanam. She played the rag for some time and then went in for her studies. Every day, Revathi would sit on the bench and watch her potted plants. They were growing well and looking healthier than the other plants in the far end of the courtyard. One day, as she was playing, she noticed a movement in her potted plants. They were slowly moving their stems, bending slightly towards her. She wondered why they were moving as there was no breeze. It struck her as odd. So children, the meanings are: Rag means an Indian classical tune. Struck her as odd means to seem very strange. So children, I'll begin with the explanation. So while she was shifting the balsam plants, she got an idea about participating in the best plant contest which was going to be held in her colony after a few weeks. So now that she will be participating for the contest, she decided to water the plants every day and take care of them. She sat down on the bench and started playing her favorite rag, Mohanam. She played the rag for some time and then she went to do her studies. So children, Revathi would sit on the bench and watch the potted plants every day, as now they were looking healthy than the other plants in the courtyard. One day, when Revathi was playing her violin, she noticed that the plants were moving towards her and bending towards her, even when there was no breeze. Revathi thought that this was something strange. She could not believe her eyes, that how could these plants move towards her. So children, now let's read the next passage. The next evening too, she played on her violin as usual and watched the potted plants with care. After some time, like the previous day, there was a definite movement in her plants. They all bent towards her. This astonished and surprised her. That day also, there was no breeze. Revathi sat on the bench and played a different tune, one with a quick rhythm. She suddenly saw all plants turn away from her as though they did not like what she was playing. Then she started playing her favorite tune again, and the plants slowly straightened themselves and bent towards her. Her surmise became a certainty. Her plants loved to hear her favorite tune. So children, the meanings are: astonished means greatly surprised or impressed or amazed. Surmise means that something is true without having evidence to confirm or prove it. So children, I'll begin with the explanation. Then the next day in the evening, again Revathi was playing her violin in front of the potted plants. Again she saw that the plants were bending towards her like the previous day, and today also there was no breeze. Revathi was surprised and shocked to see the plants moving even when there was no breeze. Children, this time Revathi sat on the bench and played a different tune on her violin. Then she noticed that all the plants went away from her. It felt like the plants did not like the new tune that she was playing. Then again, she started playing her favorite tune. So children, tell me, what was her favorite tune? Yes, you're right, Mohanam. Now she started playing that tune, and suddenly all the plants started coming towards her. So children, now Revathi's doubts were cleared that the plants were really moving to her tune and that the plants loved her favorite tune. Okay children, now let's read the next passage. She kept the knowledge a secret. She did not tell anyone, not even her mother. There were only a few days left for the prize distribution. To her great surprise, Revathi found her potted plants not only taller and healthier than other balsam plants, but that they had started flowering a few days earlier than the other plants. The flowers were big and brightly colored, and one of the plants had an unusual kind of flower. The flowers were mauve with white stripes. That evening, she knew she would definitely get the prize for the best plants. She went to bed dreaming of her plants and the new type of flowers. The next day was the all-important day. She got up in the morning and went straight to the courtyard to see her plants. Revathi blinked for a few minutes, for there was neither the pot nor the plants. She looked to see if someone had moved the pot. She searched all over. She asked her mother. Her mother said she knew nothing, either about the pot or the plants. Some of the neighbors had been to their house the previous afternoon and had remarked at the beautiful flowers and the healthy-looking plants in the pot. But later, she had been busy inside the house and had not gone to the courtyard. So children, the meanings are: mauve means a pale purple color which was on the flower, that is a balsam flower. So children, will begin with the explanation. Revathi did not tell about what happened with the plants to anyone. She kept it a secret even from her mother. She did not tell even her mother about it. Now, there were very less days remaining for the prize distribution, and Revathi's plants were now taller and healthier than other plants. Flowers had bloomed in her plants before any other plants, and the flowers were big and bright in color. And one of her plant had a different type of a flower. The flower was pale purple in color with white stripes. Now children, after looking at her plants, she felt very confident that she would definitely win the prize, as her plants were more healthier and beautiful looking than all the other plants. Then she went to sleep dreaming about her plants and the strange and different flower that had bloomed. That is a big flower. The next day was the prize distribution day. Revathi got up in the morning and she went directly to see her plant in the courtyard. But as she looked around in the courtyard, she could not see her plant anywhere. She searched for the plant everywhere in the courtyard. She even asked her mother about it. But her mother also did not know anything about the pot or the plant. But her mother told her that some of the neighbors had come there the previous afternoon to see the plants, and that the neighbors had complimented on the beautiful flowers and the healthy plants in the pot. But after that, the mother was busy with her housework. She was inside the house only, and she had not seen anything, and she had not come out into the courtyard. Okay, children, we will stop here for today. The next part of the video of the lesson will be explained to you in the next video.